So here's my review of the Weber Genesis 2. Now the Weber is very expensive, 3-4 times the price of a cheap one. And everything I see on the internet, on YouTube, when I was reviewing it, people talk about how good it is and the advantages of it. But ultimately I think for that price it really needs to be perfect. And I think there are some flaws in it. I think overall it's not worth the price. I don't hate it, I'm not disappointed in it, but there are some issues with it, and I don't see too many people discussing them. So maybe it's just me being overly picky, overly dramatic, but I don't see anyone else pointing out these things. So hopefully it helps some people out there make their decision. I mean, maybe you even think if this is the worst of the issues, because none of them are really that serious, then it's fine for you. Okay, so this is an Australian model. The Australian model, the stainless steel model, has ceramic cast iron in terms of its grills, which is the first thing that I don't love about it. A stainless steel would have been nice, and even my old-fashioned cast iron was actually easier, I think, than the ceramic stuff. Now, the ceramic is very easy to clean before and after by giving it a scrub. It comes off easier than the cast iron, but ultimately is much harder to get it just right. I mean, actually I probably should have cleaned this before this video, but there are marks and things on here that just won't come off. A soak with oven cleaner, I use a pressure hose, a gurney, a Karcher, whatever you call them. I've even used, gumption and other things. It's just barbecue cleaners. You won't get it to 100%, and maybe you don't care about that. That is probably a minor thing. The number one thing that I don't like is also to do with these grills. They are huge. I mean, I'm 6'1", nearly 6'2". I just fit nearly my whole finger into my knuckle up to here. I've lost so much food through these, like asparagus spears, broccolini, little chopped up potatoes. Even I nearly lost, would have gone through a thinly cut lamb cutlet. Now I know what you're thinking. Would you just cut the, the asparagus that way instead of that way? Even so, you take an asparagus spear, you turn it, a tiny little bit gets caught under there, it just disappears. It's really easy to do. Even if you never lose any food there, because all you cook is like steaks and stuff. I mean, a lamb cutlet's this big. It's sort of got like 1.5, marks on it. What's it called? Grill marks. I mean, these are just way too big. It's absolutely preposterous, the grill design. You can buy different ones on the inside, but like I said, I do think if you are buying this, it needs to be perfect. So that's what I don't like about the grill. It's got, you'll see all the advantages to it, flavor-arrived bars and all that sort of thing. I'm not going through the advantages. These are just small things I don't like. The second thing, I guess, the last thing about the barbecue itself is it's advertised as being self-cleaning. You cook this, it's self-cleaning, you just heat it up. Okay. But it doesn't say how to self-clean it, and it gives you this warning. And it says very strict about it all throughout it. So I have no idea how it's really self-cleaning. I mean, I cook for as high as I'm allowed to according to the instructions, and it ain't self-cleaning. So, I think that's a bit of garbage. So that's what I don't like about the grill. Now, one thing I was really excited about was this burner, because, my wife doesn't like strong smells inside. I was going to buy a wok, and I was going to be able to cook outside. And I do a little bit of cooking with my cast iron pot out here, particularly when I want to finish it in the oven, like a good omelette, frittata sort of thing. The issue with this is the distance between here and here. I never actually bought a wok in the end. This is a relatively small pot, and it fits, but I'm not really convinced that a proper wok is actually going to have room to fit. Now you can raise that up, and that'll add a little bit more room to it. Maybe it works, but if this is something that's big for you, I'd take your wok in and check that there's enough room. Of course, maybe you can, cook it a little bit crooked, and that might even give you easily enough room for a wok. But I don't like that design. Also, the stainless steel is great. It's really easy to clean. I haven't cleaned mine in a while, but this cheap plastic on the side is not easy to clean, and it's where you fry things. So I don't like that either. That's one, a pretty minor one, but like I said, I'm naming all issues. Now that's all about the barbecue itself. However, I will just note a few things about some of the attachments that come with it. So I bought a rotisserie. The rotisserie is fantastic. You know, there's not quite as much room as I hoped, but I sort of knew that would be the case. You'll find information about that beforehand, but I've still put a big ham hock on there. You know, you don't have to move the flavour of bars of Leader's chickens. It's awesome. The other thing is it's got an iGrill, which I got. Now, an iGrill is a wired grill, so basically you plug it into the meat, you go around and plug it in there, and it connects to your phone. A couple of things I don't like about that. Now, the first thing is it's completely useless in conjunction with the rotisserie. No matter any design you have, the wire's just going to wrap it around it. So the main thing I sort of want that meat temperature for can't be used on. Unlike you know, I forgot what they're called, but there's wireless Meteor. There's wireless meat thermometers available. I would definitely recommend one of those over the iGrill. The iGrill is pretty useless, very frustrated by it. It's also Bluetooth only. You know, my house, you know, I'm even out in the pool, behind a couple of concrete walls, I'm losing range on it. So it's not that useful. It can't sort of connect to your Wi-Fi or the internet or whatever, because I just drop wherever I'm walking around. So I don't like that about the iGrill either. That may be the same with the Meteor, but overall, for the amount of money you're paying for that sort of a meat thermometer, very disappointed in the iGrill. The last thing I want to talk about is the smoking box. So this is the smoking box. Now, this to me is the worst designed thing I've ever encountered from Weber. If they hadn't have given it to me for free as part of my purchase, I certainly would have returned it. Look, you're going to read on the internet, most amateurs are going to say, soak your wood chips, that stops them burning. You want them to smoulder, not burn. Yeah, that's great. You smoke them, they're going to steam, and when they're dried out, they're going to burn. They're going to catch a light. It's just simple physics. You know, you will find that information from proper cooks very easily. Okay, the way you get them to smoulder is very simple. It is about oxygen. Okay, you wrap them in foil, which is the old-fashioned way to do it. Whack a little hole in the top with a fork. It'll smoulder. There's not enough oxygen to catch fire, but it's high enough that it'll burn. That's smoulder. That's good, clean smoke. That's what you want. This is ridiculous. There is so much oxygen comes through here. It is impossible to stop this from catching a light straight away. It is the worst design thing I've ever had. I literally have to wrap the whole thing in foil, and I've sort of now realised, you know, about that much you leave open, and that'll give you a nice good, and foil under, foil on top, and that'll give you a nice clean smoke. But that is just completely not fit for purpose. Do not go anywhere near this Weber box. It is absolute garbage. You're better off using a foil, and or alternatively, there are plenty of better designs out there that are a lot cheaper. Okay, so that is the entire of it. Like I said, these are all really minor things, but for the price that you're paying, I just wanted there to be a video out here where people would see some of the disadvantages, and maybe some of these things get cured on newer models. That's entirely possible, but up to you, as long as you know.